I will enroll at Hochschule Fresenius, expecting a wonderful educational experience. Little did I know, my dreams would soon turn into a nightmare. As I stepped into the administration office, I was greeted with a sense of unease. The staff seemed uninterested, and their constant rule changing made me feel like I was walking on thin ice. I would ask for help, only to be met with unhelpful staff who seemed to take pleasure in making things difficult for me. I soon discovered that the course information was inaccurate and communication was dreadful. I would often find myself in a state of confusion, wondering what was going on. The practical focus was nothing but a joke. Mostly theoretical with little real-world application, it was a waste of my time and money. The facilities were outdated, and the teaching quality was inconsistent. It was like they didn't care about our education at all. I felt excluded as a German speaker, with constant pressure to take extra English courses. Professors were often unavailable and uninterested in student concerns. It was as if they didn't care about our well-being or success. The career services were non-existent. No help with internships or job placement. It was like they expected us to figure everything out on our own. Trying to get a simple issue resolved was a nightmare. The bureaucratic red tape was suffocating, and the inflexibility was infuriating. The campus felt isolated, and there was very little student life. The accommodation was overpriced and often in poor condition. It was like they were taking advantage of us, exploiting our desire for education. I attempted to address my concerns, but my voice was silenced. My review was somehow deleted, and I was left feeling helpless and frustrated. It was as if they were trying to cover up their mistakes, rather than taking responsibility and making amends. Frau Bremer Palamba, a staff member, gave me false information before I signed my contract. I was misled, and now I am stuck paying for a semester I didn't even attend. No lectures, no support, just a never-ending cycle of ignorance and greed. I am still trying to make sense of it all. How could an institution of learning be so blatantly profit-driven? Don't they care about the students they're supposed to be serving? It's absolutely inhumane and purely profit-motivated. They're only interested in one thing: our money. I'm not alone in my struggles. I've seen others suffer at the hands of Hochschule Fresenius. They too have been exploited, misled, and ignored. It's a never-ending cycle of disappointment and heartache. As I sit here, reflecting on my experience, I am overcome with sadness and frustration. How could an institution supposed to be dedicated to education and personal growth be so devoid of empathy and compassion? It's a tragedy, and I hope that by sharing my story, I can prevent others from suffering the same fate. What do you think, dear listeners? Have you had a similar experience with Hochschule Fresenius? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's stand together and demand better from our educational institutions.
Businesses near the Hochschule Fresenius feel like a practical joke that forgot to end. I walked in expecting student-friendly prices and left feeling my wallet had been taken to a back alley and shaken upside down. Every cash register seems to come with a hidden vacuum that inhales your last 20 while you are still saying hello. The first thing you notice is that food here costs more than tuition flashcards. The hot counter at Why Not Stop looks innocent. Stainless steel trays glowing like a school cafeteria. But the server behind the glass is already loading 3 scoops of rice when you ask for one. Before you can protest, the scale shows 1 pound and the screen screams $25. You leave holding a box of lukewarm starch. No meat, no drink, just starch. And the pump outside sucks again. This time, by dispensing fuel at the speed of a sleepy snail. One student told me he finished an entire podcast episode before the tank clicked full. The meter, of course, kept ticking the whole time. If you survive the rice heist and crave something Turkish, Simit Sari waits around the corner like a sesame-covered trap. The simit looks photogenic, a glossy donut wearing a jacket of seeds. But bite down, and the ring fights back like a rubber tire. Inside, the cheese has the texture of fridge regrets, and the menemen arrives as a watery puddle with floating onion rafts. The staff will pile your tray before you blink, then charge extra for the paper it sits on. One guest asked for a single pastry, received 3, and paid €9 for the privilege of throwing 2 away. The manager shrugged, said portion control is customer control, and returned to his phone. Coffee culture does not get better. Cafe Extrablatt sits on the old market square with terrace views that promise postcard moments. Yet the wings arrive fried into bone dust, and the pizza is still frozen at the center like a snowman hiding in bread. Waiters play musical chairs with empty tables, telling solo guests those very tables are reserved for invisible friends. When the bill comes, a mysterious 10% tip has already married the total. The card machine claims the marriage is automatic, like gravity. A student who tried to pay separately for a shared bottle was told the system does not do math, which is a curious defect for a computer. Nightlife near campus feels designed by someone who read about bars in a dark room. Onamore Bar keeps the lights so low you need bat sonar to read the menu, which is actually a clothesline of postcards pegged to a string. Cocktails arrive in jam jars, priced like antique crystal. The bartender squeezes a capsule of espresso into a martini and calls it craft. A group of 7 walked across town with a reservation, found their table given away, and were told the empty sofas were conceptually occupied. The doorman later suggested they try the river because water is free. Even the gym wants a slice of your shrinking budget. Urban Athletes locks memberships behind a velvet rope of silence. Pause your plan. And the fee still leaps from your account every month like a gym bunny that refuses to leave. Emails fall into a void where trainers are too busy taking mirror selfies to answer. One member sent proof of injury and received an automated smiley face in return. Monthly debit untouched. Retail therapy turns into retail thrombosis at Apropos Concept Store. The perfume section is cordoned off like a crime scene. You may sniff 3 cents before a sales agent escorts you out of the velvet maze. Buy a €300 bottle that vanishes from skin in minutes, and you are informed that nostrils lie, not nostrils of the store, naturally. Returns are banned after 7 days, even for gloves that do not fit the human hand. The cashier suggested the gloves might fit future evolved fingers. So patience is the real product. Wine bar Freundschaft sounds cozy until the bill arrives wearing a Halloween mask.
A bottle that costs €9 at the shop is poured here for 45, and the waitress refills your glass like a nervous metronome, preventing conversation and slowing time. Ask for tap water and receive a €7 bottle you never ordered. When you question the charge, the staff remind you that friendship has a price, spelled with a capital F and a silent ripoff. After tasting every trap, I felt my pockets echo like empty lecture halls. The area around Hochschule Fresenius teaches one lesson again and again: if the price looks gentle, the extras will stab you. If the food looks warm, the center stays frozen. If the lights look romantic, they are probably hiding the exit. Bring snacks from home, fill your tank elsewhere.
Businesses near Hochschule Fresenius are like, sometimes not so honest with tourists. Like there was this one souvenir shop close to the school, and they would charge extra if they heard foreign accents. A tourist bought a small keychain, and the price was suddenly double when they went to pay. The shopkeeper said it was a special edition, but it was just a normal one. The tourist probably felt so confused, Like, why would someone do that? Maybe they paid anyway because they did not want trouble. The shopkeeper probably kept doing it until someone complained. Then there was this cafe near Hochschule Fresenius where the menu had one price, but the bill had another. Tourists would order a coffee, and suddenly the receipt said it cost more. When they asked, the staff would say, "Oh, the menu